So welcome to Direct U.S. Immigration's channel, where you get direct access to our most up-to-date immigration and global mobility space. I am an immigration attorney with almost a decade's worth of experience, and today we're going to talk about what happens during your immigration medical exam in 2024. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Maitreya Brown, and I'm a U.S. immigration attorney based in Washington, D.C. I am also the principal attorney at Direct U.S. Immigration, where we work with clients in all 50 states and around the world. Be sure to stick around until the end to get a bonus tip on preventing or challenging a health-related denial. Certain diseases of public health can make an individual inadmissible to the United States. That means it could prevent the applicant from getting a green card. The exam is the process of removing those grounds of inadmissibility. So the medical grounds of inadmissibility, the medical examination of foreign nationals, and the vaccinations administered to foreign nationals are designed to protect the health of the United States population. The immigration medical examination, the resulting medical examination report, and the vaccination record provide the information that USCIS uses to determine if a foreign national meets the health-related standards for admissibility. Any of these four basic medical conditions may make an applicant inadmissible on health-related grounds. Communicable diseases of public health significance, an immigrant's failure to show proof of required vaccinations, physical or mental disorder with associated harmful behavior, or drug abuse or addiction. The immigration medical examination is not a complete physical examination. Its purpose is to screen for specific medical conditions relevant to U.S. immigration law. The U.S. government doesn't require the doctor to evaluate you for any conditions except those the U.S. Public Health Service specifies for U.S. immigration purposes. Likewise, the government doesn't need the doctor to provide you with a diagnosis or treatment, even if they discover other issues related to your health. It is important to note that this examination is not a substitute for a full physical examination, consultation, diagnosis, or treatment by your primary healthcare provider. Now, you won't be able to go to just any doctor for your immigration medical exam. A government-approved doctor must perform the examination. Outside of the United States, the U.S. Embassy or consulate will refer you to an authorized panel physician. Applicants applying inside the United States will go to a civil surgeon. In both situations, they are doctors authorized to administer your exam. Suppose you apply for an immigrant visa through a U.S. Embassy or consulate, which is also known as consular processing. In that case, they will provide a list of panel physicians certified by the Department of State, and in most cases, you'll have a choice of physicians. But it's also best to check with the procedure at your local consulate. You generally need to schedule an appointment before the panel physician will see you. Now, the National Visa Center will tell consular applicants when it's time to schedule the appointment. You must complete the medical exam and vaccinations before your scheduled immigrant visa date. When applying inside the U.S., the exam results must be signed by the doctor no more than 60 days before you submit Form I-485. The results are valid for 2 years from the date of the signature. In preparation of the medical examination, you will need to take several items. This list will vary based on the location of your exam. So if you are attending an exam outside of the United States, the U.S. Embassy will give you specific guidance for your country. However, you will generally need to take the following items to an immigration medical exam: a valid passport or other government-issued photo identification, vaccination records, Form I-693, which is that report of medical examination and vaccination report, the required fee, which varies by doctor. If applying abroad, the required number of U.S. passport photos, so be sure to check with your consulate office. And if anyone in your family is immigrating with learning disabilities, report the condition and any special education or supervision requirements. If you are being treated for a chronic medical condition or taking medications regularly, a list of medications. If you've had a previous positive skin test for tuberculosis, the tuberculosis certificate from your doctor proving that you were adequately treated. If you have had syphilis, a certificate of clearance signed by a doctor or public health official proving that you were adequately treated. If you have a history of harmful or violent behavior resulting in injury to people or animals, information that will allow the doctor to determine whether the behavior was related to a psychiatric or medical problem or to drug or alcohol use. If you have been treated or hospitalized for a psychiatric or mental illness or alcohol or drug abuse, written certification including the diagnosis, length of treatment, and your prognosis. Now, the doctor will review and make sure that you have had all of the required vaccinations. The Immigration and Nationality Act expressly requires some vaccines, and others are required because the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, also known as the CDC, has determined that they are in the interest of the public health. Regardless, you must receive the following vaccinations before being admitted as a permanent resident, though exceptions do apply for certain vaccinations, such as the COVID-19 vaccine. So as of January 2024, the following vaccines are required: COVID-19, hepatitis A and B, influenza, influenza type B, measles, meningococcal, mumps, pneumococcal, pertussis, polio, rotavirus, rubella, tetanus and diphtheria, toxoids, and varicella. So as I am not a medical doctor, if I have mispronounced any of those, don't hold it against me. So, back on track. So if you already have some or all of those vaccinations, take your vaccination report to the doctor. The report will need a certified translation if it is not in English. If you need additional vaccinations, the doctor will administer them. Depending on the type of vaccination, an additional visit may be required. Upon the physician's recommendation, he or she may provide certain requested waivers of the vaccination requirement. Now, effective October 1, 2021, most new green card applicants must be fully vaccinated. If not vaccinated, the U.S. government will consider them inadmissible to the U.S. And this, of course, is specific to COVID-19 as well as the other vaccines. And this applies to adjustment of status applicants inside the U.S. and consular processing applicants outside of the U.S. So immigration officials may require people to get revaccinated with an FDA-approved vaccine if they initially received a COVID-19 vaccine not currently authorized in the U.S. Now, at the immigration medical exam, green card applicants must show the doctor evidence that they are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Acceptable forms of proof include the official vaccination record and a copy of a medical chart. And the record should include the dates the applicant received the vaccine and, if available, the name and manufacturer and lot number. Now, certain applicants may be entitled to a waiver for the COVID-19 vaccination requirement, and waivers can be provided for the following: age, contraindication, which is the negative reaction to the vaccine, vaccines not routinely being available, and religious or moral convictions that are extensively documented. The doctor or a member of the doctor's staff will ask questions about your medical history. Of particular interest to the doctor is any time you have ever stayed in a hospital or experienced significant events in your health history, been put in an institution for a chronic physical or mental condition, or been sick or disabled so seriously that it resulted in a substantial departure from a normal state of well-being or level of functioning. The doctor will ask about specific questions about habitual drug use. Applicants who are found to be drug abusers or addicts are inadmissible. Recovering drug addicts who are in remission, however, are admissible. If you have a history of drug abuse, even if it's not in your medical records, consult with an immigration attorney before attending the green card medical exam. Now, let's talk about physical exams. So the doctor will then give you a physical examination. Typically, the physical examination includes examining your eyes, ears, nose, and throat, extremities, heart, lungs, abdomen, lymph nodes, skin, and external genitalia. The doctor will also order a chest x-ray and blood test to check for syphilis. Children will generally be excused from the x-ray and blood test requirements, and if you are pregnant, contact your respective embassy or consular office to inquire about a postponement. The doctor will perform a mental status exam assessing your intelligence, thought, comprehension, judgment, mood, and behavior. So, especially for the mood, make sure that you are well fed before you go to the doctor so you're not upset. Applicants with physical or mental disorders and harmful behavior associated with those disorders are inadmissible. The inadmissibility grounds is divided into two subcategories, and that is the current physical or mental disorders with associated harmful behavior and past physical or mental disorders with associated harmful behavior that is likely to recur or lead to other harmful behavior. Now, let's talk about the cost of that immigration medical exam. So costs for immigration medical exams can vary significantly based on the country where they will be performed and the specific doctor. Prices can vary anywhere from $100 to over $400. The U.S. government doesn't set a standard fee, so the cost will depend on the doctor you visit. Therefore, check with a few doctors to find out how much each one charges for your immigration medical exam. You should also consider the indirect costs of the exam, as you may need to travel to the interview city early for the medical exam. Now, what happens after completing the examination depends on your location. In some countries, the panel physician will send the results directly to the U.S. Embassy, and in other countries, the doctor will give the applicant his or her medical exam results in a sealed envelope, which the applicant must take to the interview and be sure to keep it sealed. So if your immigration medical exam is inside the U.S., the civil surgeon will give you a completed Form I-693, which is, again, that report for medical examination and vaccination report in a sealed envelope. Do not open the envelope under any circumstances. Submit the medical exam along with Form I-45, which is that adjustment of status application. If you have already filed your adjustment of status application, submit the envelope at the USCIS green card interview or upon USCIS requesting it in a request for evidence. The results of your immigration medical exam are generally valid for 2 years. So as promised, here's some bonus information that you may not know about. A relative seeking a green card generally would not be denied on medical grounds if they have a cold at the time of the medical exam or have a chronic but well-managed disease such as diabetes or heart disease, are HIV positive, previously had one of the communicable diseases previously listed and have since been cured. If, however, a relative seeking a green card has been previously tested positive for a health-related condition that could lead to the denial of their application, it's important to show USCIS or the State Department that you have been successfully treated. Typically, the best way to do so is to bring copies of your medical records showing the treatment you received and the results of that treatment, as well as a statement from your regular doctor confirming that your disease is either cured or being managed. So last but not least, be sure to check out the caption below this video. We've got questionnaires for different types of visas so that we can help you determine which visa is most appropriate for you. Also, if you are traveling soon, we have a list of some of my travel favorites. So I hope you found this video helpful. Subscribe if this content or information helps you in any way. Comment below if you want me to talk about something in specific, and share this resource widely because you never know who needs answers to these questions. Additionally, if you have any specific questions about this video as they pertain to your unique circumstances, please schedule a consultation with us, also at the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.